So this video is called VShojo is officially shutting down as former talents share more horror stories about the company. Shit, as we know, VShojo is the company that hired Iron Mouse. They're like a talent agency. They're the ones that like kind of check all of our finances. They check all of those things. And imagine now they're shutting down the talent agency. Imagine your talent agency, the one where you've been giving them money, you're the one that's making sure everything is good for them. They end up just shutting down. Like, that is so sad, bro. That would literally piss me off, like, big time. So let's see what's going on. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Tell me what you guys think, and of course, let's enjoy this freaking video.
Hey, what's up, guys? Up here. So when you say VShojo is cooked, that's no longer an opinion. That is a fact. VShojo has come out with an official statement today announcing that they're shutting down. And as part of that statement, there are some very disgusting excuses they're trying to make for the downfall of this agency. And also based on the wording, it seems very unlikely that the former VShojo talents will...
They're shutting down because they can see they're going to get sued. And I think, are they an American company? Imagine if they're an American company, they're even going to get more 10 times screwed. Because that now means that at any moment they could get, like, subpoenaed, by the FBI. Okay, I don't know how it goes in America because, I'm from South Africa. But, they could actually get, like, their case could go to a federal level,
ever see the funds that they are deserved. On top of that, we're going to be looking at some statements coming from Silvervale, another former VShojo talent, who shared her experience during the Hogwarts Legacy harassment campaign, where not only did VShojo not have her back, management at VShojo was blaming her for the situation and calling her a disappointment and a distraction to the other members of the...
And that time Hogwarts Legacy sold good. It was one of Warner Brothers' biggest sales versus Suicide Squad. I still don't understand the Hogwarts Legacy campaign. Oh yeah, because of the writer upset the LGBTQ community. So
agency. It's wild stuff. But before we get into that, yesterday was my birthday. Thanks again for all the birthday
make your coins.
They are the best. So let's get into the main topic for today. VShojo. They are officially shutting down. To sum up in lightning speed what happened over the past 3 days during the speed run of their own demise, Iron Mouse comes out with this video talking about why she left VShojo. She announced that she was leaving and came out with this video where she shared some very disturbing news about the general practices of the agency, but also how she was owed funds from the agency, and more importantly...
Bro, they didn't pay her a charity. She's still... Like, imagine you don't pay your top 8 talent, which is Iron Mouse, and you expect that everybody's gonna look, they're gonna be like, oh wait, so you're not paying her. What the hell is gonna happen to us? So yeah, dude, that's crazy.
Her charity that she worked with was owed over $500,000 that seemingly went missing from her subathon a year ago. And
I'm telling you, as soon as that money hit, the owner was like, nah, I'm gonna get a Benz, buy a new house, dude, like with $500,000, you could do everything, bro.
All the other talents, both former and active at the time, came forward and shared many different horror stories about the agency, many claiming that they were owed large sums of money. And now we got this whole Keisan quote here, where the moniker of VShojo was talent freedom or talent first. They used variations of it. And she said,
it's money first. We'll see the talent. After they make us our money, we'll be good.
Talent first. My ass, because clearly they didn't care about the talents because they were not getting the funds that they deserved. And within about 48 hours, every single English VShojo member left the organization. That is a speed run. Okay, I've never seen anything like this with a big VTuber agency ever, and I doubt we'll ever see anything happen this quickly. Now, a lot of people were turning to the CEO of VShojo, Gunrun, which he is very aptly named because he's been on the run, so to speak. He was silent for days on this issue, and people were tagging him, basically saying, what's going on? What's your response? Well, we have the response right here from VShojo. People are already trying to put a community note on this, but let's read through this.
Jesus.
VShojo has failed, and I've mismanaged the company into the situation you're all witnessing. So today, I am sharing the difficult news that VShojo is shutting down, and I take full responsibility for
This is where, if you're a content creator, you need to realize that, signing under any management talent agency is a risk, because remember, these are all businesses that are meant to benefit themselves. Now you're entering a business where it's meant to benefit themselves, not you. So people need to start learning to be independent, create their own, because I feel like some people are at that point where they can create their own. Imagine Iron Mouse can raise $500,000 just for charity. Imagine the type of money she's making. So I feel like, at that point, you need to kind of have the responsibility of, okay, cool, I'm sitting in front of like a computer screen and a camera, but there's ways to like kind of enhance it and like, make it more than, because I feel like a lot of people need to really, really, really start, investing in their businesses, because this is a business content, they need to start investing in it and making sure that they have the infrastructure to not be in these type of situations. Because now you're going to sign to an agency, a management, a union, these subcategories of places where they're going to take your money. So it's very dangerous to sign under these companies, because they can easily, imagine VShojo had the biggest, and then miraculously tomorrow they shut down. So it's like, okay, they shut down, so where's my money? Oh my God, imagine this happening. I would call
the decisions that led us to this point. I've been doing everything I can to fundraise and get the ship right these past few months, but despite my efforts, we are in a worse position, and those I care about are now paying the price. Over the past few years, we've raised around $11 million to pursue a bold, talent-first approach in VTubing, prioritizing creators and community over short-term profits to achieve long-term sustainability.
Our cap, then pay Iron Mouse. That sentence right there. Where's the $11 million? I'm telling you, into Benzes and houses.
Funding went directly to our creators through generous splits, debut investments, infrastructure, concerts, events, and staffing, all designed to support them. We also wanted talent to own their own IP, which, by the way, allowing people to own the thing they already own is not exactly like the craziest thing ever. But anyways.
Now the problem is what Rev is saying is that a lot of companies in the whole VTubing space, like let's say, like you see how Rev say Desu has this character on screen. Some companies actually own that character which is on screen, so that's like their IP. So it's really fucked up what other VTubing agencies are doing, where the companies actually own that IP, so they make their money through merch and all of that stuff. So it's VTubing is weird, and it's sad, but it highlights what the state of agencies, in a clear manner. Like, okay, cool, I'm a content creator, I joined this organization, and this is what's going to happen to you. Sometimes you'll make your money, sometimes you won't, So it's like a luck of the draw type of thing.
They continue on, which we knew was a unique creator-first approach for an agency. However, despite all of our efforts, the business failed to generate the revenue we needed to sustain that model, and eventually we ran out of money. Additionally, I acknowledge that some of the money spent by the company was raised in connection with talent activity, which I later learned was intended for a charitable initiative. At the time, we were working hard to raise additional investment capital to cover our costs, and I firmly believed, based on our information available to us, that we would be able to do so and cover all expenses. We were unsuccessful in fundraising efforts. I made the decision to pursue funding, and I own its consequences. I am deeply sorry to all the talent, staff, friends, and community members who believed in our...
You know what's gonna happen next? If he can see that all the lawyer up things, going down, file for bankruptcy and get away with it. That's how these niggas will do, bro. He's just gonna file for bankruptcy, and what are you gonna tell somebody that filed for that shit, bro? God damn it. Imagine, bro, these people owe you millions, they run away. Dude, that's sad.
Brand, you did not deserve this. From Justin, aka Gun Run. This is pretty much the worst ending in many ways. Okay, I think everyone knew that VShojo was going down. Once everyone from the English branch went away,
I think this is the best ending because this company closed down. So fuck yeah. -1, you know?
Learned that there was bankruptcy issues at play. Everyone knew the
Imagine if you work for this company, this is your agency as a VTuber. Okay, you see the Iron Mouse thing. Okay, you're like, okay. Next thing, boom, they shut down. You're like, oh, fuck. That would be so sad, bro.
on the wall. But this is a very, very big cop-out from Gunrun. Basically, what he's saying is, we burned through all of our money, including money that was supposed to go to charity, because
Benzes, houses, everything. I'm telling you, these people were buying new houses. They were buying cars. They were buying everything. They weren't wasting time. They were, yo, dude, you guys don't even understand. These people were going crazy. Like, they were blasting all
we
that
believed
money.
we would be able to raise more money. And then that attempt to get more money to secure another loan failed. And now they were left with nothing. Nothing to pay the talents. And boy, howdy, is this going to be an absolute mess. Okay? Now, let's get this straight. There is a reality where the talents, now former talents, who are independent contractors by definition, there is a possibility in some reality where they could get money back. But in the grand scheme of a sell-off, as this business collapses here, the money that's going to be shifting, the former talents are on the bottom of the totem pole of priority. Okay? They're the last ones who are going to get money. Everything else is going to go to the banks and all the people that loan them money first. And I highly doubt there's going to be anything left for the talents at the bottom of the totem.
You're basically screwed. You're basically screwed. Like, oh my God, bro. Oh my God. Imagine, man. You know, it is what it is. Welcome to business.
Pole. It's going to be a very sad situation for all these talents who were owed money, and they're probably never going to get the money, including the charity money, which is really ironic given this retweet people have been sharing where Gunrun reposted this Ludwig tweet talking about how half of the money from the subathon for Iron Mouse was going to charity. They really were aware of this, which they should have been, but they were aware of this and stressing the importance of this whole fact that there was a charity.
Nah, he was aware. He was he was plotting. He was like, nah, it's coming to me. He's like, $500,000 coming to me. Boom, you know.
Aspect, but they still felt very comfortable taking that money for themselves to basically throw a Hail Mary pass and try to secure another loan, which of course didn't work out. But at the end of the day, they spent through all the talent's money, including the charity money. Now, the only good thing that's come out of this, the only good thing really, is that Iron Mouse's Tiltify campaign for the Immune Deficiency Foundation, which was the charity in question here, they've raised now 1.2 million.
Yeah, nah, Iron Mouse is a freaking goat. Now, half of that money, I wouldn't be offended if Iron Mouse took it. She must take that half of that money and give the other half to the charity. You know, dude, Iron Mouse has got some other crazy fans. Imagine they raised $1 million. Holy fuck.
$1 billion. Well over twice that amount she raised during the subathon. Of course, that fund is now gone. It's gone poof. It's gone right into the pockets of people at VShojo, and it's unlikely we'll ever see that money go to
I wouldn't be upset if Iron Mouse took $500,000 or this $1 million on screen. I wouldn't be upset. She must take it for herself, half of the money, you know, and give the other half, because she promised them $500,000. Give them $500,000.
Foundation. But luckily, Iron Mouse and so many people have contributed to this Tiltify campaign, so at least something's going there. Great effort on their behalf there. But let's look at some of the replies to VShojo's announcement. It's not great. Bao saying, "This is exactly what Studio Cell and Copium Merch did to us, pretending the ship wasn't sinking, and instead of being honest, took everyone down with them. The road to hell is paved with good intentions." Omni saying, "It sounds like you used your talent's actual money to keep your business afloat until you could secure additional funding, hence the operating costs. You didn't disclose that you were in the red and were hemorrhaging your talents." Smugglon saying, "Mismanagement is a funny way to say a greedy rats. The things that are coming out are not mismanagement. They are appalling stories of how you and your lackeys that ran the company are spineless narcissists." Asmongold saying, so what about the $500K for charity money? Is that going to be donated still, or is it something that needs to be investigated? Not to mention all the unpaid talent fees. I would go out on a limb and say that $500K.
If this is the time where if you were like if I was Iron Mouse, I would have immediately sued. Because this is the time when I was gonna sue hardcore. I was gonna be suing, dude. Like, I wouldn't even hesitate.
It's gone. And that is a very, very sad thing to say. I guess their excuse that they're running with is that we needed to pay our employees first, and basically the cost of doing business, and we thought we were going to get another loan, and that loan would then replace the...
I'm telling you, Gunrun is in Brazil. He's gone. If I was Gunrun, I'm running. Like, literally, I would be on the run. No pun intended.
Charity money that's been used up, and that never happened. And it's horrible greed, and unfortunate for everyone who had good intentions towards helping people out. And Rima saying terrible response, especially in light of everything that has come out. Now, a lot more has come out, but let me talk about this real quick. So here's a former founder of VShojo, this Motendu, okay, whatever. Their pinned tweet is talking about how they left VShojo after 5 years. Notice, this was posted in May of this year, so 2 months ago, right? Now, this guy is morally grandstanding on Twitter saying, nah, bro, what the absolute F? Tagging Gunrun.
Please.
The audacity of this person. Dude, you were there. The ship was sinking for a long...
Why did you leave? Why did you leave? Why did you leave? There's something this person knew that we didn't know. I'm saying, nah, it's Gunrun. Meanwhile, the Benz is parked in the driveway. I'm telling you, bro, it's so funny to see corruption in other countries besides my own South Africa. The corruption things are just too funny, bro. Like in my country, corruption is like a strife. So we see it like every day. So it's nothing new for me when I see corruption. It's just like, oh, we're not the only ones. Shit.
Long time, and you were there. Some of the talents have been owed money for years, and you were there. And you were in a leadership, an officer position, and now you're trying to join in on everyone criticizing VShojo? Nah, we're not doing this with you, man. Like, you are not a part of the party. Who invited this guy? Because you were a part of the ship that was going down, and you can see a legal mindset would quote that saying, leaving the company 2 months ago does not absolve a former officer of potential liability for past actions. And the thing is, people are going to focus the most on Gunrun. He is the captain of the ship. People are always going to focus on him the most. But let's not forget about people like this. Other officers and people in big positions at VShojo. They knew things weren't going well. There's no...
Whatchamacallit, unless, once it goes to court, then they will see. I wish this court could be broadcasted live like the Diddy trial. Well, the Diddy trial wasn't really broadcasted live. We only got notes from the jurors because it was a federal case. So I just wish it would be broadcasted live, bro, honestly.
Way they didn't, and they participated in this. They were active during the years that funds were being sucked away from talents who rightfully earned it. Yeah, I don't buy this, but this is kind of the really messed up story coming out today. It's coming from Silvervale, who was a former VShojo talent. She left, I don't know, approximately 2 years ago at this point, but she's been doing a live stream. It was still going when I was recording this, titled Talking About Stuff, where she was sharing some really disturbing stuff about what's going on behind the scenes at VShojo during her time there. The most disturbing in my eyes involves the Hogwarts Legacy harassment campaign. Now, for those who are not up to speed, back in 2023 in February, the game Hogwarts Legacy comes out, and people think you're a transphobe for playing the game because it's a J.K. Rowling IP. Silvervale is one of the people who played this.
Ain't it funny? There was even a transgender even in the show. Like, bro, they it was like, I know J.K. Rowling was I don't know what to say about that, but like, it was just funny to see, bro. Like, in this day and age, you can't have opinions. It's very dangerous to have opinions. You kind of need to just stick with the crowd or shut the fuck up. Literally.
Game, and one of the many people who was harassed for playing this game, or at least streaming this game. And there was a legitimate harassment campaign launched against her. Simply playing the Wizard game got her family doxxed. She got death threats. She was harassed endlessly. She was slandered. She was basically thrown under the bus. And people at the time were like, wow, it seems like VShojo is doing absolutely nothing to back up their talent, one of their star talents.
Yeah, they did
and
nothing.
Guess what? It's even worse than that. Not only did they not have her back, they were chastising her behind the scenes.
I was put into a call with Gunn, the CEO of the company, like someone that I admired and I looked up to and I wanted to please, someone that I thought was the coolest person ever.
Please.
And he told me that I was a damage to the brand, that I was a disappointment. I was told that me being harassed was an inconvenience to the other talents and not to talk to them. Optics were more important than their own talents' well-being. And I was suspended from streaming. They said it wasn't a suspension because they weren't that kind of agency, but what else do you call being told not to stream?
Suspension.
Talent freedom, right?
I mean, what an absolute disgrace. We all knew there was no backing from VShojo, at least publicly, right? We all knew this. But to think, not only was there no backing privately they were shaming her. They were telling her to stay away from other talents. During a time where she needed backup, they told her to stay away from the other talents. She was a distraction, and that she personally, because of this choice to stream a video game, she was a disappointment to the company, a disappointment to Gunrun, and that she was someone who was causing so much damage and harm to the company. I mean...
Yeah, that is really sad, bro. That is really, really, really sad. Imagine being in this type of situation. You're trying to play some Harry Potter. This game is awesome. If you guys have a PS5 or Xbox, it's even on PS4. What am I saying? Buy this shit, bro. This game is amazing. I have this on my PS4 5. I mean, yeah.
What else is there to say? Really, it can't get any worse. I'm so glad she shared this because I've always wondered about what's going on. And this is going to be a long string of things that we're going to see happening here. When the shoujo dissolves, it's going to break all the NDAs, right? And people are going to be sharing their stories. People who just left and people who left years ago. And it's going to be very, very interesting to hear what else is going on because this story alone tells me the kind of evil people working this company, the kind of greedy, just callous people. Who does this to people? Someone who's being harassed.
It's all VTuber agencies, bro. It's not all greedy people. It's all of them. All of them are gonna be in this situation. I swear.
The level that Silvervale was, to not only turn their backs on her, but to chastise her and call her a disappointment. It's terrible. Now we're gonna shift gears here too, because during this same stream, she talked about leaving the company and how that was still difficult because basically her and other talents like Yanners, for example, who wanted to leave, they're like, whoa, 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 you can't leave. You can't leave on your own terms. You're going to leave when we can say you leave. And basically held them hostage because they didn't want them to leave together because it would make the company look bad. Isn't that insane?
And when we left, they of course discredited us to the staff and the other members. As soon as we left. Like, they painted us as troublemakers and problem people. That we were greedy and asked for more money. There's like so many horrible things just to avoid the truth that they were stealing from us. And they intentionally announced Vay and I leaving at the same time, so it looked like we left together. Even though Nyan wanted to leave at the same time. And they refused to let her leave at the same time because they wanted it to look better for them. Like, it's not like we were all jumping ship at the same time. They literally held her hostage so it would look better for them.
Yeah, that's how the cookie crumbles, bro. That's how these companies want to do. They don't want to now like be like, okay, cool, we're gonna let you guys be free and all of that. No. It doesn't work like that. Reputation, of course. They want to keep up the reputation in charades. But I totally get where they're coming from. They're like, shit, this company's actually stealing from us. You know, that must be so frustrating. Jesus. I'd be so frustrated if I was in this VTubing company.
And they advised the talents to stop associating with us.
As if that wasn't bad enough, this final clip we're going to look at is even worse. Where basically, as soon as they left the company, Silvervale in particular, they immediately started slandering her. They immediately started bad-talking her. They immediately started saying negative things about her to artists and other people she might collaborate with. They basically made it their priority to drag her name through the mud and to hurt her career as an indie out of spite for the fact she left the company. Can you wrap your head around how crazy these people are?
I later found out that
they're not crazy, they're smart. That's the music. You know, the funny part is like the VTubing, well, content agencies, companies, they move like music industry. The music industry is exactly even worse than this, you know, but it's similar, you know.
they'd been slandering me to musicians and artists that I had worked with through VShojo, and slandering me to companies and ruined potential business partnerships that I was really, really excited for some of my like dream collabs that were gonna happen. And like staff was known to astroturf everywhere. Like they even run some of the really large VTuber clip channels. Like they were everywhere. And they had their hand in every pie.
It's so petty. They deserve everything they have coming to them as an organization, but I feel so bad for the talents. You know what? Looking back, especially a lot of the talents, they seem like all pretty good people, right? Coming out of VShojo. And when it's all said and done, I cannot believe the level of BS they had to go through with this company. At the end of the day, the talent first moniker that VShojo had was the furthest thing from the truth. They did not have their talents' backs. There wasn't even any sort of level of protection within the company. They were thrown to the wolves, and if you caused any issue, even when you're the victim, it's your fault. And not only that, when you want to leave because you don't like this terrible treatment, they're going to dictate when you can leave and how you're going to leave. And also, the second you leave, they're going to try to tarnish your indie career. But hey, at least you get to keep your IP, right? You know, the thing you already owned before you went into the company. And by IP, for those not familiar, they get to...
VTuber model, VTuber... dude. IP is literally the VTuber, what you see on the screen. And the name and all of that. Like Gora Gora. You know, her company kept her IP. I think she went through the same thing that VShojo and them doing. I think VShojo is the biggest that exposed because of Iron Mouse. And that means, bro, like, if you're in a VTubing agency, bro, you need to just, whatever happens to you, you need to scream and say that, yo, this is happening to me. And not say it after 2 years.
Keep their VTuber models and their names when they enter the company, unlike a lot of other agencies. They're just kind of continuing on with their current model and name, but just with the VShojo label. And then when they leave, they can keep that as well. And they act like that's some gift from God, when literally that's just how it should be. You own your IP, and they're just saying, yeah, you can still own it when you join us and when you leave. It seems like the bare minimum, but we have to sit here and actually like pretend like that's something heroic and amazing.
So
but anyways, it's over. VShojo is...
Yo, that is so sad. That is so sad. Okay. Anyways, yeah. Awesome. VShojo is gone. F them. F that company. It is what it is. This is how the cookie crumbles, bro. Like literally. That's how the cookie crumbles. You know, it's so sad seeing a company like this just mess everything up for everybody. And it just doesn't make sense of why would they do this to anybody. It's just like, why would you guys do this to people that work for your company? Like, it just doesn't make sense. You know, VShojo, bro, L. Big L for them, bro. Big L. But I'm glad that they're gone. Soon, more VTuber agencies are following. You guys will see.